Big fellas, how are ya? It is a pregame show for a stupid 14-game slate in the NBA. We've got to go through a bunch of information, a bunch of lineups, a bunch of injury news. So we are going to do questions, but we're just going to talk about what we know at this point. And I'm just checking because a bunch of injury news just dropped. Seeing if there's anything interesting in that. Not really. Devin Vassell doesn't look like he is going to play. Bradley Beal is playing. Lou Dort is playing. All right. So let's go through what we know. I'll get to you guys and questions soon. We'll just bring up the lineup screen for now to see what we know. Derek White is back for the Celtics, and he is starting in their usual lineup. So Al Horford goes to the bench. White, Holiday, Brown, Tatum, Porzingis. The Sixers are starting their standard lineup. Maxey, Melton, Oubre, Harrison, and Embiid. The Jazz are starting a new lineup. Keontae George, Jordan Clarkson, Ochai Agbaji, Lauri Markkanen, and John Collins. Because there's two things here. Walker Kessler is out. I talked about this on the daily streaming show earlier today. Said it looks like he's going to be out a few games. Well, he's out at least a few weeks, Walker Kessler, with the elbow sprain, which apparently he suffered in game 1 of the season. So while it's not great that he's out, it might mean that maybe it fixes and his minutes go back up. So that's good news and bad news. I still do believe, despite him not starting, that Kelly Olynyk is a 12-team ad. Like, you have lost 25 to 30 minutes out of the center rotation, and I'll tell you who's not getting them. Omer Yurtseven. Like, he might get some, but he's not getting all of them. So Olynyk just needs to go from 20 to 27 and we're set. It's easy. They are starting Ochai Agbaji instead of Kessler. Now, Agbaji, I think, has been bad all season. He's had very low minutes all season. He's a terrible fantasy player in terms of per minute production. And I would not bother adding him in 10 or 12 or 14 team leagues, despite the fact that Ochai Agbaji is starting. On to the other one. Keontae George starting ahead of Talen Horton-Tucker. This is one of those, Josh, do you ever watch the games? Yeah, I do. And Talen Horton-Tucker's not it. Like, he was never it. He's not a starting point guard. This probably happened a week or two before I expected it to. And what I've been saying all along with Keontae is he is a luxury stash. We wait for this to happen. And now he is a starting point guard. But before we all start lifting up our desks, Keontae George is a rookie point guard. You stashed him to get some value because everyone is going to rush out to grab him now. I've got him in 3 of my 7 teams. Everyone is going to rush to grab him now. But let me also make this very clear. Keontae George is a rookie point guard, and it will probably, I can't guarantee you anything, it will probably be rough for a period of time. 3-4 weeks maybe, where his numbers will not be sensational. They might not ever be sensational this season. But step 1 is here. He is starting. The minutes should push up. Horton-Tucker is not it. Colin Sexton is not it. It is very clear they are not it. George might be it. He might not be, but he might be. So I do suggest grabbing him. I have not started him in any of my lineups today because there's 14 games on. I can sit him on the bench. And I understand it's going to be a slow process with some inefficient nights, some low assist nights. He hasn't been a good steals guy so far. But I'm banking on this really starting to kick in mid-December. We waited until mid-November Thanksgiving for him to start. And now we wait until, say, mid-December for the production to kick up. But it's a good start. Do you drop Talen Horton-Tucker? I've been saying this for a long time. I don't like Horton-Tucker as a player. I don't think he's a great fantasy asset. You do not have to hold him now that he's on the bench. He might play more minutes than George. I don't know. I don't think it's a priority to hold. They are the only 3 lineups that we have confirmed at the moment. So what other injury news things do we need to pay attention to? Well, so Devin Vassell is doubtful. We don't have an update on Anthony Davis. He is questionable, but likely to play. Jackson Hayes is questionable. Jalen Duren is still questionable. Jimmy Butler is probable. Derek Lively is questionable, and he didn't practice. And Gary Payton is questionable, and Draymond Green is out. Jamal Murray is out for the month. I think that while it's bad, it is also good. You know my stance on NBA teams and rushing players back from hamstring injuries. So they're just saying, we'll go the 21 days. That's the stand in the sport that's most popular in Australia, Australian football. Hamstring, 21 days. That's what happens. You're just out 21 days. So I've got no problem with Jamal Murray being out 21 days. Does this mean Reggie Jackson's a must-add? Borderline. You watch him, you watch Strowther, you watch Brown, Christian. I wouldn't say they're must-adds. They're good streamers on lower volume days. But I'd have Jackson still as the priority there. He started last game. He wasn't great. But I'd say that there is a little bit of value in streaming him in. That's probably the major news things. I'm going to see what else is happening. I will get to your question soon, just to tell you who else is in and out here. Cam Johnson, Nick Claxton remain out. Ben Simmons is out for the Nets. Looks like Johnson is closer to returning to Claxton. Don't worry about this G League assignation. It can just throw you off. I still think we're a couple of weeks from Claxton. I think Johnson might be back on the weekend. Herb Jones is out. Zion is out for personal reasons. Hope everything's all right there. Jackson Hayes is out. Vanderbilt's out for the Lakers. Alec Burks, Jaden Ivey, Monte Morris are out. Chris Middleton's out for the Bucks. Jalen Duren, as I mentioned, still remains questionable. Isaac Okoro is out. Xavier T. Illman is out. Caleb Martin is out. Top 130 ranked player on Yahoo for the season, legend Nikola Jovic is out. Devin Booker is out. Bradley Beal is in. Draymond is out. Scoot is out. De'Aaron Fox is out. Monty Williams says he expects Jalen Duren to play. Pop said, unless Devin Vassell goes out there to warm up and feels great, I think he's out, so that means probably not. What else are we looking at here? Keldon Johnson is playing. The Suns are starting Bradley Beal, Grayson Allen, Keita Bates-Diop, Kevin Durant, and Nurkic. So Eric Gordon and Josh Okogie off the bench. Interesting that Bates-Diop keeps that spot. So will he keep it when Booker returns? Or I think he will. I think Allen will go to the bench. Anthony Davis is a game time decision. Whew. All right, let me just see what else you guys have got cracking on here. What's the news on Miles Bridges? There is no news on Miles Bridges. 4 days, four more games until he returns. Zion is out because his girlfriend is having a kid. Is it his girlfriend or is it? She's actually. I don't even know if they're still together. But okay, so that makes sense. Same as Derek White and I think Draymond as well. That is happening today too. Do I know why Fantrax moved Claxton's IL flag? Yeah, ESPN did it and Yahoo did it too. Is because for some reason these fantasy providers, there must be an auto system there. But when they got taken off the injury report and changed to assigned to G League, they took it away from injured when it's clearly just not accurate. Sit Killian to start Keontae. With 14 games on today, I think I'd probably still stay with Killian, but I've got no problem with putting Keontae over him. You don't need to add Keontae George. Would you drop Kobe White for Keontae George? I don't know that I would. I don't see them being significantly different this season. Stash CJ and IR. Is he cooked for the season? He's probably out 4 to 6 weeks would be the guess. So no, he's not cooked for the season. What player profile is closest to the keynote speaker? He is maybe it is Kobe White. I think he's a better passer than Kobe White. And this Jazz team desperately needs passing and ball handling, whereas the Bulls have DeRozan and Levine who are better passers. So he might be a Kobe White guy who will be probably maybe less efficient from the field, but a lowish defensive stats guy. I think he's got the ability to be 6.5 assists and 16 points, maybe pushes to 18. This team's so in flux that it just really depends on how they like to look at things. No, Brian, I just talked about the headmaster's hamstring injury. Is it concerning? No, it's actually really, really positive. Because we saw this. Just think of Devin Booker last season. He took like a week off, came back, hamstring injury, flared it up again, out. Zion Williamson came back to practice, flared it up, out. NBA teams don't handle hamstring injuries correctly, apart from this one, which they are handling correctly. Who would I take, Jordan Hawkins or Keontae George? I would take Jordan Hawkins. I would take Keontae George with the understanding that Jordan Hawkins is probably going to be better in the short term. But are you playing for this week or are you playing for January, February? I would go with a little bit more long term. Is Trey Murphy a stash? Well, that's going to depend on so many different things on your roster, but when are we expecting him back? At what point do you estimate he'll hit his peak? Christmas would be my guess for not hitting his peak, but at least being back in business. Beal, Hawkins, Melton. Which two to start? Beal and Melton. Matthew, I have absolutely no way that I can tell you who to pick up without knowing who's on your waiver wire. With Murray and Kessler out, I don't know. I don't know who's on your wire. George, Olynyk, Suggs, Anthony. I don't know. I got no idea, mate. So hard for me to tell you that. Is 15 points per game realistic for the double royal? Double royal is Julius Randle. Is 15 points? No. He will smash 15 points per game. That's not even close. When do I think Kessler will be back? Well, he's currently out for 2 weeks, so let's say 2 weeks. I don't know how more to go through with that, or how far much further. Like, what else can I give you with that? Drop Tillman for Keontae? Yeah, look, Tillman's injured at the moment. Keontae has higher upside. Sure, go for it. Let's see what else is happening. Anthony Davis, still no determination. He's still a game-time decision. Christian Wood and Rui Hachimura are going to get more playing time with Jackson Hayes out. What else is going on? There's a lot of questions here. I'm just going to check what other news are. Vogel wouldn't say Beal's minutes restriction range. Cool, thanks. That's helpful. Are people overblowing the Kawhi PG concerns? Yes, they're overblowing them. Not to say there won't be some sort of hit there, but they will overblow them, I'm pretty sure. There's going to be an adjustment period here, though. There's no question about that. All right. Would I activate Beal for Jabari Smith? Surely you've got someone worse than Jabari Smith to drop. And if not, I'd rather just keep Beal on a minutes restriction on a 14-game day in my injured slot for today. How will Biyombo play tonight? Hang on, let me just go check my Gray's Almanac and let you know. He'll play okay. How can I know that? How much production drop do I expect from Bane when Jara returns? Significant. He's not going to be the number one usage player, so it's going to be a significant drop. Is Zach LaVine really in the 50 best players as fantasy goes? Yes, 100%. Is today the end of the road for Robert Covington when he plays less than 20? Hard to see Oubre sticking in that lineup. Nick Nurse is doing stuff that I've never seen Nick Nurse do. I think he ran 12-man rotation last game. I just don't think that we're going to, is it the end of the road? I would be okay with moving on from Covington already. This doesn't seem like a significantly high priority at this point. Dyson over Oubre? No, I'd rather Oubre there. Scott, welcome to your first show for the season. I can't play them. What is the highest level of basketball I played? Casual basketball. That's it. I'm not a basketball player. Trade Oubre for Tyus. Well, you say this, but A, no context. B, what's the point? What are you trying to do? Always have this in your head. Why am I doing this trade? What am I trying to get? Am I looking for scoring that's going to be up and down, fluctuating with shooting percentages? Or am I looking for a relatively solid source of assists? So the answer is yes, or it's also no. Because I don't know. You do. That is how you need to be looking at these trades. How good is the big show, Glenn Maxwell? Honestly, I know most people here won't know this. The Glenn Maxwell innings yesterday, the best one-day international innings of all time. And I don't even know how to explain it. Someone asked me, how do I explain this in NBA terms? It was like if your team was down 50 points at halftime and And Jordan Poole was playing for the Wizards, and then he got hurt, and he couldn't move. And they had everyone else hurt, no bench moves, no rotations at all. So Jordan Poole just stood in the corner all game, didn't run back on defense, so they played 5-on-4, and he just stayed in the corner on on offense. And every time they came down, they just fed him the ball, and he shot it, and it went in, and he scored 50 second half points. He actually scored like 100 second half points, never missed a shot while never defending because he couldn't move because his leg was done. And they ended up coming back from 50 points down and winning the game. That's basically how I tried to explain it. What do I think about the IL plus hack glitch? Not a hack, not a glitch, just how it works. I think it's totally reasonable. Once you see something that is how something works and you use it to your advantage, it's not a hack, it's not a glitch, it's not anything. I don't think anyway. Who am I more confident tonight, Healed or Hardaway? Jesus Christ. Probably Healed. Did I play any sports competitively? Yes, I was a relatively good cricket player. So by that I meant played some like third division district or grade cricket. Bunch of like, rep stuff and all that sort of thing. Footy, Australian football, I was okay at. I wasn't particularly good at that. Played like in our grammar school league. I was pretty good at it, but not to the level of cricket. Who's a not so great fantasy player, but a great real life player? Great is an interesting term. I would say someone like, obviously Draymond's real life value is significantly better than his fantasy value. All goes for those sort of players. Herb Jones is one of those guys as well, significantly good defender, but not really reflected. Or Jaden McDaniel is actually someone like elite defensive player, but doesn't reflect well in fantasy at all. Concerns with Dame? Not really. Like a little bit. Derek Lively out, by the way. Get him out of your lineups. Derek Lively is out. Muxie Kleber is back. That doesn't mean you add Dwight Powell. Doesn't really mean you necessarily go with Kleber. Maybe Rashawn Holmes plays his first minutes for the season. But on a day like today, we don't worry about that. Am I concerned with Dame? Not really. It hasn't been a great start, but I'm not really concerned. He's getting to the line a ton. Does my son play rep cricket? He doesn't play cricket at all. He played cricket for one season. They won the flag, and he was like, I don't think this is for me. Batter or bowler? I was a fast bowler, and hence why my body is erect now. What newsfeed do I primarily use for your pregame show? G Wout, Lucky, welcome to the show. Good to have you here for the first time. Basketballmonster.com/news is the page that I use. In fact, I might just actually paste it in the chat. When people ask me these sort of things, often the answer is just going to be, it's the site that I work for. Like, that's where the information is coming from. I'll see if I can drop that into the chat for you guys. Maybe, maybe not. Yep, there we go. Okay, what else? So we've got more confirmed lineups. The Wizards, nothing surprising. Jones, Poole, Avdia, Kuzma, Gafford. Brandon Miller starting for Terry Rozier for the Hornets. No surprise again. Ball, Miller, Hayward, Washington, Williams. The Pacers confirmed. Halliburton, Mathurin, Brown, Top and Turner confirmed. And the Suns confirmed lineup too. So out of the starters, we've got Derek Lively out. That'll get replaced. I expect Dwight Powell will start there. It could be Kleber, but I expect Powell will start. The only big question is going to be Anthony Davis here. Jokic will play. He's probable. Don't worry about that one. Jay Crowder starting for Chris Middleton. And Jalen Duren upgraded to probable, so that's good news. Monty Williams on the Kevin Knox signing. To add a talented guy who hasn't been able to find a consistent rhythm in the league that was here, and everyone loved him. He has a skill set we hope to be able to grow. Jesus Christ. How does Troy Weaver continue to get away with this? How does he continue to get away with doing whatever he's done to that franchise? Seriously. I have called this from like day one, the worst GM in the NBA. Like 100% the worst GM in the NBA. I'm not even like joking. He's a putrid GM. Man, the Pistons lineups are so bloody hard to figure out. I'm trying to like look at how they all go long term. Man, they are rough. There's too many guards. Somebody is going to not play when everyone comes back eventually. What's my favorite basketball movie? I don't really like sports movies like that. I'm not interested in them. Drop Hunter for Keontae George. Yeah, I don't think DeAndre Hunter's a particularly high upside guy, so I'd be okay with that. Any chance Herb surprises us with the top 75? I highly doubt it. Unless you really value players whose worst category or best category is turnovers, I do highly doubt that. Can I rank these sports most popular to least in Australia? I guess, what are you in terms of? Like, participation, it's cricket. But in terms of viewership, it's Australian football. Then it's rugby. Then it's probably cricket, tennis, swimming, I would guess. I have not seen a Greek basketball game, no. Am I the CEO of Locked On? Absolutely not. The CEO of Locked On is David Locke, the man who's named the company. All right, Charleston, someone asked a question about Santi Aldama. You chimed in. Explain it. I talked about this on one of my earlier shows today. Explain the Santi Aldama thing. Explain it, because I feel like I am the only person who is not talking about this in this way, and maybe I'm just completely wrong. Explain it. I don't get it. Do I think Asar can keep up his stat production when Bojan is back? Yeah, I don't think Bojan really takes anything away from Asar Thompson. So yes. Can I shout out your wife, Jen Mercado? Jen? Hello, how are you, Jen? Do I think Scotty Barnes stays a top 5 power forward? Is he power forward eligible? He's playing no power forward whatsoever. All right, so who are the top? It's Giannis, there's Davis. I assume you're counting Davis as a power forward. I think that Scotty is going to regress significantly in his three-point shooting and his block numbers. They will 100% regress. But otherwise, the usage stuff, the scoring, the assist and the rebound numbers might stick. They might not. But top 5, yeah, he'd be on the board of that, I would guess. Who do I think comes to the bench when Miles Bridges comes back? Miles Bridges goes to the bench. I don't think he's going to start. Yeah, I don't think he's going to start. Santi will chuck 5 corner threes and call it a day. Yeah, he probably will. But my issue is that people just seem to think that he will just start and it'll be him and Jaren playing the entire time. And I find no evidence to suggest that. You need an update on AD. Hang on, I'm just going to give Darvin a call and see what happens. Just give me one sec. Do we pick up Miles Bridges when he comes back? I would pick him up now. You've got to. It depends on your league. If they're all too busy jerking off over their keyboards, then maybe you can wait. But in most other leagues, like every league I am in, Miles Bridges is on a roster. Like he is. Like you just can't wait that long. He's only 4 games to go. That's why I said it does depend on your league. That's why when I talked about Keontae George, I said you probably need to stash because a lot of leagues will just grab in advance. I went to look for Kelly Link today, rostered already, everywhere. I was slow on that. Rostered everywhere. Many people think I'm the owner of BBM. Yes, most people do. I'm not. Basketball Monster has been around for a long time. Much longer than I've been doing this game. Okay. Trade Gobert for Siakam punt field goal. I don't know. They're quite different players. Obviously, you're getting a scorer, more of a scorer with Siakam who gets more assists versus a rebounder and shot blocker. But Gobert's value in punt field goal, although his field goals are down this season, is really where his value is. I don't know. That's a big... it's just a big change to your stat set. So usually I'm going to be against those sort of big-time trades. They just change things so wild. Collins, is this to be similar to his prime in Atlanta? Absolutely not. No. I don't think so at all. I just don't think he's got that anymore. They also won't be... Part of the reason he was able to be that guy in Atlanta was they gave him so much usage. And I don't think he's going to get that usage. It's going to be Clarkson and Markkanen, still with George there. I don't think that... No, I don't think he's going to be that. It should help him, but no, I don't think he's going to be back to his prime days. We are not far away from finishing this one up. We've got a couple of minutes to go. Man, let's get some thumbs up going here. We've got 1,000 people in the room. That's sick. Only got 71 likes. Come on, let's get to 150 here. In case you're interested, Mohammed Gay is listed as questionable. And if you can name the team he plays for, well done. I mean, I can, but not everyone can. Something's going on my little chat stream thing. It's not working, so I'm going to have to reboot that so I can get your questions up on my screen because they're just not working. How long before Yahoo gives Keontae point guard eligibility? Jesus, why doesn't he? I don't know. I don't know what they could possibly be waiting for. Position eligibility is just shitting me so much this season that it's just leading me to be like either like you just go all flex or have no point guard shooting guard. It's just guard. Yeah. That makes no sense. Or the fact that then I think it was ESPN added power forward to Okongwu. You know how many minutes he's played at power forward this season? 2. And they have throw out these vague things. Oh, they've got to have played 5 games in that. I don't like things in fantasy where you have no control over it. The players on the court don't have any control over it. It's someone randomly assigning an injured tag or an O versus INJ status or taking it away or position eligibility. Or in ESPN's case, players not being available to add. Shout out to Matt Ryan. I know there's someone on Yahoo they don't have too. So, up theirs as well. Let's get these likes up. Let's get to 500. We're really getting the numbers up. How many losses can you take in an 18-week regular season and still make the playoffs? Usually depends on how many teams are in your playoffs, obviously. Usually most teams, like if you win 55% of your games, you usually can make it. That's usually the way it goes. But that's going to depend a lot on your individual league. The chief locksmith, Josh Lloyd. Joshua B. What's the B stand for? Big boy. Vando or Trey to stash in a 20-team... Trey Murphy is a significantly better fantasy player than Trey Murphy. Trey Murphy is a significantly better player for fantasy than Vando, so it would be him very easy. Any new hats or shoes purchased? No, nothing actually. I haven't got anything... No shoes at all recently. Um... 2 minutes to go. Just going to check on more news. Nothing else going on. Man, the Pelicans injury list. Jesus Christ. Herb Jones, Zion Williamson, Jose Alvarado, Najee Marshall, CJ McCollum, Trey Murphy. That is 6 rotation players, 3 starters. 4 of the top 6. That's bloody rough, man. Yeah, that's bloody rough. All right, we've got 2 minutes to go before I'm out of here. Just checking in on more news. Whew, this is going to be such a busy day. I'm excited, but it's also just a nightmare to try and cover. Has Jeremy Grant been playing small forward minutes? I don't think so. Let me have a look on that, actually, because I can't... Maxi Kleber's going to start. Let me go and have a look. I don't think that Jeremy has... But I'm just going to double check to see based on the lineups, which I went through and adjusted all teams' lineups for positions over on Basketball Monster so I could get some accurate numbers going. That was my day yesterday. I got 91% power forward, 9% small forward for his minutes. There you go. Oh, there you go. But I'm just going to see who do I have at power forward in those lineups. Oh, yeah, because he played some next to Williams and Ayton. And some next to Walker. Yeah, so 9%. Yeah, that's accurate. 9% for Jeremy Grant as small forward, 91% at power forward. I don't know what requires. Apparently 2 minutes is all you need to get power forward if you're Onyeka Okongwu, but not for Jeremy Grant. But guys, that is going to do it for me today because we are here and we are ready to go for the start of the games. Thumbs up on the way out. Subscribe, notification bell. I'll be back with an absolute ball buster of a show later on today. I'll see you guys later.